Thank you for joining me today on Good News with Twanda Black, where we're discovering some of the most inspiring trials to triumph stories and empowerment moments. Call up a friend and let them know it's time for some good news. Hello and welcome to Good News with Twanda Black. I am your host. We interview folks from all walks of life from around the world, and I hope that you'll enjoy this interview today. Introducing to you Sophia Burns. She is newly elected president, I think since last year before last, of the National Council of Negro Women. We are the Greater Atlanta chapter, or the section. And, you had to come in on the ground running, right? Yes. And in the middle of a pandemic on top of that.
Yes, I did. Thank you so much, Twanda, for having me. Yes, I was elected in the midst of the pandemic.
Yeah. Tell us a little bit of history. A lot of people have heard a little bit about it. They know, bits and pieces, but give us the history of the National Council of Negro Women.
Absolutely. I just want to extend greetings from the Greater Atlanta section. The National Council of Negro Women was founded back in 1935 by Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune, who was a big advocate for the community. She established this organization and said we're an organization of organizations. Right. And our mission is to lead, advocate, and empower African American women descent, their families, and their communities.
She was a fabulous leader back in that time. Of course, she started and was the founder of Mary Bethune-Cookman College down in Daytona, in my home state. And it's a beautiful campus. If nobody's ever seen it, it's a beautiful campus. So talk about some, I think that some of it is the same and some of it is different, even from 1935 to 2021. So talk about that for a moment.
Absolutely. Some of the initiatives, national initiatives, is economic empowerment and entrepreneurship, which is really major in this season and this time. We talk on our STEM program for our youth, preparing our youth for the future, preparing them in those areas of science, technology, and mathematics to kind of equip them. Health equality. We all know that there's some issues with our health, especially in our community, and that's our focus. Right now, we are still focusing on that. And of course, public policy. Mm-hmm. Right now with Georgia turning blue, we're taking the Senate. We have who we would like to have in the White House, even though National Council is nonpartisan. Those of us that are not love to see a change, which is leading toward the mission of what Mary McLeod Bethune wanted to do, make a change in our community.
Absolutely. And talk about the fact that there is a college section where we have these young women who are just phenomenal.
Absolutely. The National Council has I know in Georgia, more than 12 collegiate sections at the colleges. One of Georgia State, Spelman College, where the president of the national level right now is Dr. Janetta Cole.
Yes.
Who is an amazing leader, an amazing woman. And obviously she is the standard of what Dr. Mary McLeod Bethune shared. So we have collegiates, and once the collegiates graduate, we encourage them to come into our sections, our community sections. Mm-hmm. And so that is a big focus of Dr. Cole, keeping us informed, engaged, so that we can continue to do the mission.
She is such a sweet spirit. She's calm. I love her. Yes. I love her spirit. She does it for me, I'll tell you. So for the college young ladies, they are actually hitting the ground campus-wise, really trying to bring the other young ladies up and show them, a kind of a different kind of leadership, I believe.
Absolutely. We have several collegiates that we support. One is the Georgia State, one is Kennesaw. We also work in collaboration with the CAB with Spelman, and it's just empowering them to be our next level leaders, by being examples of who Mary McLeod Bethune and Dr. Dorothy Heights was, so that they can train the next generation.
That's true. Speaking of Dorothy Heights, everybody loves the Hat Lady. They may not even know where that comes from, but she was, epic for her chapeaus.
Yes. She was such a powerhouse in her time. She served as the longest national president of the National Council of Negro Women, 49 years.
Wow.
Impacting civically in the community. Recently, I had the Nation of Islam member come to me and say that she was considered the mother of the Million Man March, because they went to her and shared with her because they wanted to incorporate women. So she was a true trailblazer for the National Council and our community.
She certainly was, I'll tell you, and she set the groundwork. Talk about membership for our group, because I am a member of Greater Atlanta. So talk about membership. And within Georgia, we have quite a few sections.
Absolutely. We have 11 sections in Georgia. The national level has an initiative right now, campaign called the REACH campaign. And the REACH campaign is restoring, bringing back people back to the sections, empowering them, advocating, speaking and supporting our communities, committing, making a pledge to the section so that we can be impactful in our communities, and honoring, paying homage to those who came prior to us. So you are more than welcome to join any of the 11 sections of the organization. And you can also visit ncnw.org, and that's our national, and join at that level, and always select a section. If you would like to join the Greater Atlanta section, we would be honored to have you. And that is the www.greateratlantacnw.org.
So Sophia, let's talk about Greater Atlanta. I mean, we can talk about what we know about the other sections, but we know this section. So talk about some of the things that we are championing. And also, first of all, talk about how we got through 2020, how we served even in a pandemic.
I want to be very honest. The focus for the section, as you shared, I became the president in the midst of the section. I think it was May or June of 2020. And we usually are out July and August. But what we did some strategy. It was more supporting our members. Our members experienced great loss.
Yeah.
And it was very difficult to kind of focus. So our focus was concerned about our members. How are you doing? How's it going? We were very limited to do what we normally would do because of the pandemic and the stipulations and the loss. We were able, though, to do a holiday drive-by trunk party with our partner Carrie Still Pitts in December, where we provided gifts, gift cards to the residents there. That's the foster home here in Atlanta. And we were able to provide one of the students that was aging out everything she needed.
We had a whole house full of stuff.
Yeah,
everything.
Such a blessing. We dressed up in our holiday t-shirts and, of course, our mask, and we were able to take care of that. We most recently participated with our DeKalb section, a STEM program virtually with students with little inventions and projects with them, which was great. And just recently, because we weren't able to have our signature fundraisers, we did a fundraiser this past month and raised over $3,000 that will benefit our STEM program and our soon-to-be youth section that we will be launching.
So talk about that youth section for a moment.
Yes, ma'am. So we, the National Council there are different levels of membership. Of course, there is the general membership. There's a life member who pays $500 annually. There is a legacy life that pays $1, just more support. We have associate membership, that is our men, and we have youth membership and youth sections. We're going to be launching our youth section this year. And that's providing resources for our youth, preparing our youth. You're looking at from the ages of 12 and 18, allowing the women of the section and the community to get around our youth and start empowering. We're still in a virtual place, so we are going to be planning very soon some virtual events once we get it launched.
That's wonderful. We have to start earlier and earlier with where we are right now if we are to produce, great young men and women for our society who care about the community. So it's the perfect thing to do. We also, some of our other signature events, we've had the Derby, our Christmas event. I mean, we do so much throughout the year.
We do, yes. Two of our signature is, like you shared, our Triple Derby that we have every year. We are planning for 2022, so we're going to early invite you all. Just continue to look at our website and our social media for upcoming events. We normally have our gala, which also benefits our STEM program. But right now we are looking at the section possibly postponing to 2022 and looking at some other efforts. One thing that I did ask of the body of the Greater Atlanta section of what are some impacting things that we can do this year. We want to, and anybody that has any ideas, please email them to us. We want to be able to provide for families because in a minute, this moratorium, a lot of people are going to be losing their homes.
Yeah.
A lot of children are going to be needing food. They're going to be needing all kind of resources. And so we want to be a part of the solution and the help agent of those issues. So that's what we're working on now from here to the end of the year.
Okay. Anybody that wants to donate, you can help us in these efforts because it's going to be so important. And you're exactly right. Folks are already losing their homes. Kids are already hungry because they didn't have school to go to and to be able to get meals every day. So there are just so many things going on. And I have to say that something that's just touched me in the last week is the suicide rate of our young people. It's just breaking my heart because you think about the moms and the dads, but also the pain that those children have been in, to even think, I just don't want to be here anymore, That
is so heartfelt and so absolutely true. That is one of the things that we're going to be talking about very soon is virtual check-ins.
Yeah.
What that looks like, not quite sure, but we need to check in on our community. We need to be a voice and an ear. We'll speak on behalf of our community, but a lot of times our community just need an ear. I think that's our children. Sometimes they just need an ear. They need someone to see them and hear them. And it's important that, I have nephews, my daughter's friends, and a lot of friends, and I'm kind of a kid at heart. So it's almost like, you listen to them, but you listen to them.
You listen, that's right.
On what they're saying and what they're doing, and it's a cute little story. I was keeping my cousin's kids and they're like 7, 8, 9, and 5. And they got into something and, it was just curtains came down and this happened and that happened. And I came in there and I was like, what happened? And they were like terrified, like, oh my goodness, we're about to get it. So I allowed them to explain what happened. I allowed them to share. And then instantly, it wasn't a yelling. I just said, next time, let me know. Next time, don't do it over here, do it over there. It just takes a little bit of listening and they all look like, oh my goodness, we didn't get turned down,
Right.
And the youngest son came up to me and said, I love you.
Aww.
Because even though what they were doing was not favorable, I took an ear to it, I listened, and I made it a lesson.
Yeah.
And I think that's what our children need. They need our love, they need our nurturing.
Mm-hmm.
Society in the world is just giving them more than we've ever got.
I'm telling you.
And they need our support.
Yeah, yeah. And you know, I've been talking about this for the last week or two, and also just knowing that they're okay in the skin that they're in, and teaching them values and about who they are, being their authentic selves, even at a tiny age, just being okay with who they are and not necessarily what the media is showing them that they should be, or TikTok or whatever social media they're on. They should not be on those things at an early age because they don't even know who they are, you know? So it's just been very disconcerting at best right now.
And you know, you just hit on something. They don't know who they are. And I'm constantly sharing with people that we sometimes have an identity crisis, and we're trying to find out who we are. So we say, oh, I want to be like him. Mm-hmm. So start emulating that person without seeing who you are within. Mm-hmm. And when you accept them for who they are, and as a believer, you just love them. You just love on them. And if you see that there needs to be correction, you do it in a way that is not tearing you down, but mm-hmm. encouraging you to be a better person. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. One of the things that I am looking as a section that we will do, we gained our first associate member of the section.
All right.
The Reverend Dr. Gerald L. Durley.
Okay. I love him. He's so sweet.
Yes. He, of course, is the pastor emeritus of Providence Baptist Church. He just took on, he's intimate pastor at West Hunter Missionary Baptist Church. Okay. And such an amazing person, and a psychology at heart. And one of the mm-hmm. things that we're looking to do is that as we bring in more male members, we want to establish a male mentoring for young boys. Like, we're here for our young girls, right, and our teens, but we can't leave our boys out because they're very essential to our history, our future. And so we're looking forward to that. You know, I know Dr. Cole's heart is that we embrace our young people, for they're our future. And I am in line with that.
Yeah, yeah. Just a wonderful, wonderful organization. And like you said, it's an organization of organizations. So we have sisterhoods all over the place. Women belong to different sororities and different groups, mm-hmm. and all of that. And it is truly a sisterhood. Just a great place, a great positive place mm-hmm. To be for women. I mean, we have young women, we have older women, everything in between. And we all try to support each other as best we can. So again, tell folks how they can become members.
Absolutely. If you would like to become a member of the Greater Atlanta section, you visit us online at www.greateratlantanancnw.org, or you can go to our national site, which is www.ncnw.org.
All right. Sophia Burns, she is the president of the illustrious Greater Atlanta section of the National Council of Negro Women. And we are loving you and loving everything about this organization. Thank you so much for joining us and sharing.
Thank you for having me. I love you too.
Well, that's going to do it for this segment of Good News. I'm Twanda Black, your host. Thank you so much for joining me. To be a guest on our show, please reach out to me at twandablack@thepgnetwork.org. Or Good News at thepgnetwork.org. Thank you so much for joining us for today, and I'll see you next time. God bless.